Hello and welcome. Today we are going to discuss about The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in English language and the world's greatest dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the bard of Avon. William Shakespeare, born in the month of April in 1564, and he completed his life journey on 23rd April 1616. The Merchant of Venice is a 16th century play written by William Shakespeare in which a merchant in Venice named Antonio defaults on a loan provided by a Jewish moneylender, Shylock. Now, let's go through the complete story through this video. A young Venetian Bassanio needs a loan of 3,000 ducats so that he can woo Portia, a wealthy Venetian heiress. He approaches his friend Antonio, who is a merchant, but at that time Antonio is short with money because all his wealth is invested in his fleet, which is currently at the sea. Then Antonio decides to go to Jewish moneylender Shylock, who actually hates Antonio because of Antonio's anti-Semitic behavior towards him. Shylock nevertheless agrees to make the short-term loan, but in a moment of dark humor, he makes a condition. The loan must be repaid in 3 months, or Shylock will take away a pound of flesh from Antonio. Antonio agrees, as he was quite confident that his ships will return in time. So he signed the bond, and finally Bassanio is ready to go to Belmont to meet wealthy Venetian heiress Portia. The very night Shylock's daughter, pretty Jessica, runs away from her father's house. Pretty Jessica, the daughter of Shylock, runs away from her father's house with her lover, and she takes away hoards of some bags of ducats and precious stones. On the other hand, because of the terms of Portia's father's will, all suitors must choose from among 3 caskets, one of which contains a portrait of her. If he chooses that, he may marry Portia, but if he doesn't, he must vow never to marry or court another woman. The Prince of Morocco and Aragon already failed the test and are rejected. Among those 3 caskets, one was made up of gold, the other was made up of silver, and the third was made up of lead. Bassanio chooses the lead casket, which contains her portrait, and Portia happily agrees to marry him immediately. Shylock was in grief and anger after the act of his daughter. Now his only comfort is in hearing of the serious losses which had befallen Antonio, as some of his ships were wrecked. Meanwhile, Bassanio came to know about the unpleasant situation of Antonio, that 2 of his ships have been wrecked, and his creditors are pressurizing him for repayment. Bassanio hurries back to Venice, leaving Portia behind. There, the date for the repayment to Shylock has passed, and Shylock is now demanding Antonio's pound of flesh. Even when Bassanio offers much more than the amount of repayment, Shylock, infuriated by the loss of his daughter, is intent on seeking revenge on Christians exactly. The Duke refuses to intervene. Portia also arrives in her disguise to defend Antonio. Given the authority of judgment by the Duke, Portia decides that Shylock can have the pound of flesh as long as he doesn't draw blood, as it is against the law to shed a blood of anyone. Since it is obvious that to draw a pound of flesh would kill Antonio, Shylock denied his suit. Moreover, for conspiring to murder a Venetian citizen, Portia orders that he should forfeit all his wealth, which half to go to Venice and half to Antonio. Antonio gives his half back to Shylock on the condition that Shylock leave it to his disinherited daughter Jessica. Shylock must also convert to Christianity. A broken Shylock accepts all the terms. By the time news arrives that Antonio's remaining ships have returned safely, with the exception of Shylock, all celebrate a happy ending